Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next review for the next Christmas movie review. And just this is a film that a Christmas horror film, we should say, which me and my brother had fun watching this. My brother had fun watching this, and even I did, even despite being such a silly idea though. But I had fun with it for what it was. This is a low budget movie, but for what it was made for, I thought it was made for a fun Christmas horror film, and I definitely think it was a lot better than the next adaptation that came out the year after this. I believe this came out in 1997. Yeah, because the year after this, another interpretation of the title, which I think this is much better than the one that came out the year after. So yeah, for the next review for Christmas, I be reviewing of the Christmas horror comedy film Jack Frost. Yeah, Jack Frost is about a killer snowman. Yeah, and what I'm referring to, the next year after this, there's another Jack Frost film starring Michael Keaton, which I like. I would say I like this better than the one from Michael Keaton. Like I said, I love Michael Keaton. Big fan of him though, but that film with me. Even growing up with that, I grew up even while I didn't grow up with it because I didn't watch it a whole bunch of times, but seeing it back then when I was a kid, one or two times, I would say that interpretation of Jack Frost, the snowman character itself that Michael Keaton is as the snowman of Jack Frost, is a lot more scarier than this freaking Jack Frost you see on here. Yeah, because back then, that used to... I'll be honest, that Jack Frost, Michael Keaton version was a lot scarier to me than this one is. I'm sorry. I had more fun watching that than the Michael Keaton one. But this film, this one of Jack Frost, for what it was made, because it's directed by a guy by the name of Michael Cooney, who he directed it, but there were two writers of this film. There were two writers. Michael Cooney was one of them, and another guy by the name of Jerry Page, but he also directed the film as well. He started as a director. Just bring up with an interview with the Fangoria magazine. According to that, writer Michael Cooney revealed that he also served as a director for the film because we couldn't afford a director. To show how much the budget was. Further addressing the low budget of the film, Cooney refers Campbell's Soup Let It Snow advertisement and notes that the commercial, which has similar features of a living snowman character, had a budget 3 times of this film. So I guess that Campbell's Soup commercial had a budget that was 3 times worth the budget of this movie was. And furthermore, he slated that Identity, the thriller film with John Cusack and Ray Liotta, that another film which he helped write on, really enough. Which I didn't know that. I wasn't a fan of Identity though, but I didn't know that he helped wrote on that film. Which had a budget of Identity had a budget of $30 million, while Jack Frost was made for the cost of its catering company. So basically, the catering company on Identity is basically like the budget of this movie. How funny is that? It just shows how extremely low the budget was. But for the amount of budget for what this film did, I thought it worked really well for effects and location cast wise and directing wise, really enough. But yeah, for a low budget of like this, I thought it worked really well. But unfortunately, the sequel to this, Jack Frost 2: The Revenge of the Killer Snowman, which I did not like, that was looked way more cheaper than this film did. I'll have to review that sometime later, but I guess I don't have the DVD though. But I'll have to review it later, further down the road though. But yeah, I saw it a long time ago though. That was more cheaper. That looked much more cheaper than this film did. But yeah, this showed by the low budget that this film did. I thought it worked really, really well for the whole idea of the premise was. Yeah, of course, it was panned by critics, of course. It has a 7% of Rotten Tomatoes. But for a film like this, it's not to be taken seriously. It's just a killer snowman movie. But really enough has a 4.6 on IMDb. Surprisingly, thought it'd be much more lore than that. I guess some people don't quite hate it as much as people on Rotten Tomatoes do. But yeah, get into the film. It shows on a stormy night. Some police officers are escorting a prisoner by the name of Jack Frost, and on the way there's another car that clearly shows genetic research on the side of the truck. They crash together. Basically they couldn't see each other. They crash together. Jack Frost, he's free. This one police officer is still alive. He sees the genetic liquid, whatever. It splashes all over Jack Frost, and basically it melts him into the snow. He starts decomposing, turns into a skeleton, then gets fused into the snow. And at first, when the police officer said like, okay, better way to get rid of the guy, basically. He didn't say that, but he was like, But then, like I said, because of the genetic stuff, he gets fused into the snow and becomes this killer snowman. Although he didn't kill that police officer, he started shooting at him, but he didn't kill him. The guy they were talking to him, he's still alive, so I don't know why he didn't kill him. But and then in the film you get some fun kills in this film. You get some gore in this movie, like what this one family, this kid who's a bully too. The sheriff has a son. The son gets bullied, and the bully, Jack Frost, pushes the kid, and the kid gets his head cut off by a kid that's riding on a sled and cuts his head off his head and just flies off. So you definitely get some fun kills in this film, and the sheriff is played by Christopher Allport. Sadly, this guy here, he passed away back in 2008 because he came back in the sequel. But sadly, because they were going to do a third film called The Last Coming, but sadly, the guy passed away, since then. So, which is too bad. I think Christopher Allport, I thought he did the best he can in this film. I thought he was pretty decent in this movie. He wasn't a typical sheriff who was like very arrogant or selfish or anything. No, he was a very decent guy, family man, and all that. So I thought Christopher Allport did a pretty decent job in this film. And they show this film was not meant to be taken seriously because it's about a killer snowman. The humor in this film I thought was for the most part, was pretty funny. Especially the quirks that Jack Frost says. It was like, what did he say? Was it? Well, sure not fucking Frosty, or this one pissed off snow cone, or armed and dangerous. When he get another kill where he shoots this one guy, he shoots icicles out of his hand. He's like armed and dangerous. Or when they blow up the police station and he puts himself like all discombobulated and he's like, "Look, Ma, I'm a Picasso." Listen, this is a film that is not be taken seriously. I mean, it's like sort of in the vein of those, with those, like the Ginger Dead Man, which I like this better than the Ginger Dead Man. Yeah, I definitely like this better than the Ginger Dead Man, or a lot better than Thanksgiving. Jeez. Yeah, this film is a silly premise, but I thought I like it better than any of those dumb movies as well. And those are low budget as well. Any of those dumb films that are low budget, this is a lot better than those. Any of those, like I said, and for the effects, of the killer snowman look of Jack Frost, it was, for effects, I thought it was pretty, for the low budget it was really well done. Even another fun kill where he takes an axe to this guy who was the father of the boy, the guy's head cut off. Takes it and shoves it down the guy's mouth from the handle. That was a fun kill. Even with doing the same thing with the wife, where for first strangled with the Christmas lights and puts a bulb in her mouth, smashes it, and slams her face right into more bulbs. Basically, making her like a Christmas decoration with a star and everything, like posing her like this, and even there was another a little bit creative moment with speaking of the Christmas tree. There was a little bit creative stuff with the opening credits. It shows the title Jack Frost on a Christmas bulb and other ornaments. I thought it was really kind of a creative way to show the credits as well. And Jack Frost is after the sheriff because he's the one who like put him away and all that. And like more fun kills, like I said, with the guy who got killed with with shooting, he shoots icicles out of his hands. And then the girlfriend is actually played by Elizabeth. Shannon Elizabeth? Yeah, Shannon Elizabeth. Who this was her debut role. Who later starred in American Pie. I wasn't really a fan of those American Pie comedies. I never was. But this is her debut. She later starred in that. You can say another hilarious death where she's in the bathtub and like Jack Frost pretends to be like the bath water. Basically, can I say? Really, I would say the word. Say kind of like Jack Frost the way to kind of say rapes her in a way. It's just how the way he's shy. He's basically like slamming her. Well, if you look at right here. It's basically he's basically like slamming her against the wall like a little bit, and then she dies. But it's like you can say it's a very hilarious rape scene if you want to call that. But it's basically just like slamming her against the wall, basically. And I gotta mention about Scott MacDonald who plays Jack Frost. I think that was him as the prisoner, and he even does the voice for Jack Frost. I thought it looked like he was having fun playing. Well, for the role and the physical part though, but mainly in the voice. They was having a fun time voicing as Jack Frost as well. So I thought he was fun as the voice, not only for playing for it wasn't human form, but also as the voice of Jack Frost. He was fun to hear as well. And the FBI agent, along the guy who basically had a hand in creating with the genetic liquid stuff and the research. A fun one where he comes like a giant snowball and runs to the door, and then Christopher Allport saying, "Hey Jack, you let the 710 split," and then they all using hair dryers to basically try to melt him. And it was for effects wise, it was pretty well done. They try to get him to the furnace to melt him completely, but since he leaks out, his water, his minute snow, whatever is leaking, he can basically pull himself together and makes that the guy Agent Manners, played by Stephen Mendel. He was he trying to use the hairdryer again, but then he has a plug and says, "Blow me," and then makes himself grow like icicle teeth and basically bites into the guy's face. Which actually, I don't think the guy didn't die, because I think that character Agent Manners comes back in the sequel, but it's played by a different actor though. Yeah, because I don't think even though he looks like he gets bitten though, but it doesn't seem like he died because that character comes back in the sequel, but he's played by a different actor. And then you get another effect where the guy who do behind the research, the genetic research, Jack Frost basically goes into the guy's body, and you see like a decent effect where you see his neck kind of bulging up, and then basically the guy is puking out the snow. I thought it was another nice and well done effect. Like I said, for the budget of what it was, for effects wise, it was really well done. Yeah, people say this film is very cheesy. I would put it this way. I hardly use the word cheesy, though, but in this case I would, for the film was, because the whole premise is a silly idea. It's a killer snowman. So I had fun, and rolled with it. And the son, what he gave to the father, and the father, the sheriff, Christopher Allport, throws at him this bag of antifreeze, which that's basically ultimately the key to defeating him. And Jack Frost goes like with his messed up face with the antifreeze. He's like, "You are so fucking dead." And so the sheriff Christopher Allport has one of his other guy fill his pickup truck for a whole thing a bath of antifreeze. And while Christopher Allport's trying to buy time, Jack Frost pins him, stabs him a little bit, and then make it seem like he's dead. But then when he hears the truck and Christopher Allport goes, turns him aside, it's the cavalry, asshole. Then shoves him out the window and pushes him right into the truck of the antifreeze, melting him completely. But the son had picked up an arm that fell off and just starts wrapping him up and puts him into the antifreeze. Which, like I said, it's silly though, but you think that antifreeze has some kind of like reaction when someone gets dunked in antifreeze, because the sheriff was in when he pushed him out the window and the son got put in there. What my logic is, if there's any reaction, like any like on skin or anything, whatever, it's out the window. But because it's the whole silly premise of a killer snowman. So after that, he's melted completely, but they put all the antifreeze that was melted in the antifreeze. They put it all in the bottles and they bury it. You hear a little bit of a slow song of Jack Frost singing "Silent Night." But you see inside the bottle, the antifreeze, it starts bubbling up, so it shows that Jack Frost is still alive in the antifreeze. So, yeah. So you get Jack Frost for 1997. I for the silly premise it was, I had fun with the role. I had fun with the film for a low budget. What it was, for effects wise, premise wise, I thought it was well done. So I gave Michael Cooney. I was gonna say cooties, like, oh, this film has cooties. No, which I like the film Cooties, with Elijah Wood. But Michael Cooney, I thought for we had to work with, which he helped write the film as well, and also did the story too. So I thought he did a good job, and Jeremy Page also helped write in the film too. Get good credit to that as well. And for the effects, special makeup effects creator SMG Inc. For the budget, what it was, I thought the effects were well done, especially on the Jack Frost snowman part and the gore and the kills, and especially on the effects on some of the gore. They on the gore as well, but yeah, it was fun to watch, and yeah, it's a silly idea about a killer snowman. Of course, like I say, the silly idea is like a killer gingerbread man, like Ginger Dead Man. Or Thanksgiving. Hell, even the Leprechaun movies. Like I said, which I did review all of those a while back. I wasn't a fan of that franchise. I gave a little bit lenience to more on the first one because me and my brother had fun growing up watching that movie. But it's not a good movie. Although I give credit because it was also, I like it. To me, I think that's the best of the franchise. The first one is the best of the franchise. I like Jennifer Aniston because that was our debut role. Like I said, Warwick Davis, he does look the part, makeup and costume-wise. He looks the part of a leprechaun, but I thought he was annoying throughout the whole franchise. Like I said, I do give credit to the costume and makeup design to make Warwick Davis look like a leprechaun. But as the character itself, I did not care for of the Leprechaun films throughout the whole series. So I gave a little bit leniency to the first film. Even though it's a rant, though, I gave a little leniency because I still think it's the best of the whole franchise. Leprechaun 4 was an outright hilarious comedy on purpose. But I did not like any of the other sequels as well. But I'd probably say I do like this any of the better than any of the Leprechaun movies. So I had to say I do like this better than any of the Leprechaun movies. Better than the other ones. Better than the Ginger Dead Man. Better than Thanksgiving. Or those are the low budgeted crap ones though. But this is what you do with a low budget. To me, do it the right way basically. Maybe that's in my opinion though. If you don't like this film for what it is, that's fine. I don't blame you though. But I had fun with the film. Jack Frost, 1997, which I rather watch than, like I said, the 1998 Michael Keaton movie. I like Michael Keaton, but I had much more fun watching than that one. And that was a huge flop, by the way. That was a big budgeted film. The 1998 Michael Keaton film, that was a huge flop. This I rather watch. So yeah, and for the gore effects I liked. The directed by Michael Cooney. The cast, like Christopher Allport. The guys passed away, but they did a very decent job as the sheriff. Scott MacDonald as Jack Frost, I thought he was fun. Yeah, he was. I think it was fun to watch. And for even for the humor as well, he said, "Look, Ma, I'm a Picasso," or "Hey, Jack, you left a 7-10 split," or, "Well, this sure ain't fucking Frosty. There's one pissed off snow cone." So, yeah, Jack Frost, fun Christmas horror film. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. That's my review on Jack Frost, 1997. Be specific, 1997, not the 1991. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next review. I would say the next Christmas review later.